Everybody's kind of heard these headlines. I just want to get your opinion on this. Here is the update. Here's a direct quote. And look, oh, it's tough to put somebody in a situation like this in an interview to give a sound bite, and now everyone's going to take it and run with it. So I'm not going to have this be a defining moment for him, but I will give my honest opinion on it. Shemar said, in his mind, he's 100% right. Should be a no brainer. Saying that Trey Hendrickson's right in his holdout. No brainer as well. This last comment, though, G, oof. I'm not asking for anything you haven't done before, but y'all just want to win arguments more than winning games, in my opinion. Now, first off, crazy comment to make as a rookie. You ain't even played a snap. Matter of fact, you ain't even been to camp. And I think something, first off, I'm just going to react to that portion first. You're gonna have a little bit of a tough time adjusting if you're not in a camp, in any of the OTAs, any of the little rookie camps that they're doing. That could potentially stunt growth. That could potentially have you have slow production at the beginning of the year. Now everybody's like, "Oh, wow, really? You're making all this noise." I wouldn't want to set myself up for that expectation. That's just me, though. Wild part is, in terms of all this overall, hysteria, in my opinion, I think Shemar Stewart was drafted maybe not as a replacement for Trey Hendrickson, but more as like a piece to learn from him, a piece to take the torch potentially if Trey only has, let's say, 4 or 5 years left. And I know he's at the top of his game. I'm not trying to give him a way out in Trey Hendrickson. He had, 17 and a half sacks last year, NFL sack leader. I'm sure that production will stay the same. However, we know how the NFL is. And I find it very ironic that now you got both of them in a holdout. Now you got both of them upset. Let me ask some clarity to this situation, though. Why is there a holdout? Bengals want to protect themselves from injury, right? They have a clause in the contract that could potentially waive guaranteed money. Let's say hypothetically, if Shemar did not play. Got a lot of groups of thought on this. The first one being rookies don't have leverage. You get what you get. They're slotted pay, the fourth pick or the 12th pick or the 17th pick traditionally already know how much they're going to get paid and how much their worth is. Now, the other group of thought is that the Bengals always have trouble in terms of contract negotiation, front office deals, this, that, the other. Let's dial it back to Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. You got Trey Hendrickson in the middle of a holdout, and then now, obviously, Shemar Stewart. Look, my take on it, I think the comment did go overboard. Look, the holdout is a whole different situation because I wouldn't want my guarantee money getting played with either. Because look, he's I think the only rookie in the entire NFL to have that clause in his contract. So look, fighting it a little bit, I can understand that side of it. I wouldn't do it in the way he's doing it in terms of going out there, but at the end of the day, I'm not in that position. So I think he's got a little bit of pressure now. If he has a bad or a slow start, a lot of doubt is going to creep in on him, his potential, and it could potentially hurt future deals. But look, only time will tell. G, what's your take on this and your initial reaction?
I 100% agree with Shamar Stewart and what he's doing and his stance. Football is the most violent sport there is to play, and for them to try to take away guaranteed money if he gets injured is absurd to me. The Bengals is known for this kind of stuff though. They're a very very cheap organization and they don't like playing their players. They try to find any kind of loophole to not pay their top tier players down to the practice squad players. And this is why a lot of dudes don't like getting drafted by the Bengals. This is why it's hard for them to sign people in free agency because they always gonna try to find a way not to pay you. Um, but kudos to Shamar Smith. He's still showing up the mini camp. He's still showing up. He still say he plans to go to training camp. He going to meetings. He taking notes. He's sitting at the front of the row and in meetings, the front row in meetings. He's still doing his part and uh being a part of the team. He's just not practicing. And so it's not like he's not showing up in the building. It's not like he's going MIA. He's there every day with his team. He's just not practicing. And so I agree with him. And the Bengals need to change their stance on this. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the Bengals is the only organization in the NFL that has this kind of language in their contract.
It is. He's the only rookie to have it as well, even on the Bengals. This is the only contract as of right now that added this clause.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's interesting, especially, building on your point of NFL being dangerous. The NFL, everybody always talks about this acronym too, not for long. The security aspect of this, I think some people don't realize. Yeah, Shamar Stewart's a big talent. You never know what's going to happen next. You could potentially, this could be your first and only deal. So,
And he playing the trenches, bro. He's getting touched every play. Like, how could you put something like that in his contract to say he's not gonna get guaranteed money if he get hurt? Man, what?
what do you think
That's
about the comment saying that They just want to win arguments more than winning games. Would you? Let's say you're advising him. Let's say you're his agent. Would that comment make you like, all right, bet I'm proud of him, or would that comment make you a little like, oh, maybe I should speak?
Yeah, I think he got emotional and made that comment. Even though I do think it's true, some things you just don't say in the media and you don't put it on Front Street. Um, I do think the Bengals organization is not serious about winning. I don't think they could care less if they go to the Super Bowl and win it. They just want to make sure they not in the red at the end of the year. They just want to make sure they profiting every year. Miss Katie and the rest of that front office. Winning is the last thing on their mind. So, like I said at the beginning of this segment, bro, any kind of way they could find to not pay and take a shortcut, they gonna do it.
Yep, I agree. It'll be an interesting situation too. And then, like I said, putting a rookie in that situation and give a media soundbite on something that he might not have been prepared to answer. That was the toughest part of it all. But it's weird knowing that he's the only one. Like the only player, first player, only team don't add up.